If you're running Google Ads for a locksmith business, or you're planning to run Google Ads and you're not sure whether residential, commercial, or automotive locksmith services generate more phone calls, in this video I'll talk about their differences in Google Ads and what you need to adjust if you want to increase call volume in a specific service area. So let's get started. So guys, we're in our Google Ads dashboard, and if you're a locksmith company and you're thinking about which service types in the locksmith industry can be better than the other or more profitable than the other, and how many phone calls can you get in different service types, especially residential locksmith services, commercial locksmith services, or automotive locksmith services, then in this video we're going to talk about what can be their differences in terms of generating phone calls, and if you want to increase phone calls in certain service areas, what you can do to increase the number of phone calls from specific service area. So this is one of our example account, and this business is similar to locksmith businesses, and their main goal is also to generate as many phone calls as possible. And sometimes they can also generate form submissions as well, which is not the main goal. Let's say for locksmith businesses, that might be around 5% of the time, which is not a lot. The main goal is to generate as many phone calls as possible from Google Ads. And this is the data for the last 30 days. And depending on your location in the locksmith industry, the cost per conversion can be different. Sometimes it can be less than $20. Sometimes it can be more than $20. Even it can be more than $30. But for this business, in the last 30 days, we've generated 210 conversions and 294 phone calls. But if we would consider cost per phone call, that would be around $21.17. But the better way to calculate the results would be cost per conversion, because sometimes you might receive repeat phone calls, or you might have missed phone calls, or some of the phone call qualities might be lower quality, let's say less than 10 seconds, maybe less than 15 seconds. That's why trying to calculate cost per conversion based on the number of conversions would be a better way. And also with this account, we're trying to get as many phone calls as possible, and that's why we're not really focusing on the cost per conversion as well. But still, this cost per conversion number is already good. So now let's talk about the types of services in the locksmith industry. A quick reminder, I've generated thousands of phone calls using Google Ads. If you want to copy my exact Google Ads campaign structure to generate phone calls, I'm giving it away for free. You can use it as a blueprint or copy it into your own account. Link is in the description below. The first question would be, which service area can generate more phone calls? So obviously, if you compare these three, residential, commercial, automotive, some people might say commercial might be more profitable, or some people might say car locksmith services might be more profitable. And based on your experience, you should already know that. But based on my experience generating thousands of phone calls in this industry, I would say commercial might be more profitable if you can get cheaper cost per phone call. And also certain car locksmith services might also be profitable. Not all the services might be profitable, but certain car locksmith services might be profitable. And sometimes residential might also be profitable if you get several locksmith jobs from one phone call, for example, which might not happen a lot. That's why commercial and certain car locksmith services can be more profitable. But at the end of the day, you should decide which service area can be more profitable for your business. And after that, you can focus on those areas, which we're going to talk about that as well. And the next thing in our list, which areas might bring lower value. So let's say you might still receive a lot of phone calls from those areas, but the ROI from that service might be lower. So why we need to talk about low value jobs? Because those jobs again might be bringing you a lot of phone calls and spending a lot of your budget, but you may not be making profit from them, or they might be taking most of your ad spend, which the other keywords could be using for higher value jobs. So those types of jobs might be simple residential lockouts types of jobs, or basic key duplication types of jobs. And also certain times there might be people just for looking for key duplication, which might cost a couple of dollars. And those kinds of jobs might be useless, and you may even add those types of keywords as negative keywords. But of course, if you're getting a lot of those kinds of phone calls, or there might be other low complexity tasks which you can charge less, or a person who is asking for your help might be located in a long distance, which might cost you a lot, and the profit might be lower with that way. So you can analyze them and find the low costing jobs and the types of keywords or ad groups or campaigns that are using them, and you can limit their performance so that you're going to allocate more of your budgets for higher value jobs. So for that, you need to go to the campaign section. For example, find the campaigns that you have, analyze them. Maybe you have created several campaigns depending on the types of service you have or the types of locations you have, or even in one campaign you might have several ad groups based on the types of services or based on the keyword nature. And then you can do the same approach so that you can allocate more of your budget for higher value jobs that can bring you more profit from running ads. So from these three areas, residential, commercial, and automotive, lower value jobs can be found a lot more with the residential jobs. And you can focus less on these types of keywords, ad groups, and campaigns, and focus more on commercial and car locksmith services. But still within those service categories, there might be certain service areas which can be still lower value, but still, if you want to target higher value jobs from those three categories, commercial and car locksmith services can bring more higher value jobs. And the next thing on our list is the opposite, and you should be targeting and focusing on those types of keywords, ad groups, and campaigns, which is focusing on the areas which are more profitable. So sometimes you may not even know certain keyword belongs to in which service category. For example, people might be searching for locksmith near me, and you don't know in which certain categories they belong to. And based on my experience, I still think the people who are looking for car locksmith services can just search for locksmiths near me or just locksmiths. And car locksmith services can be searched a lot more compared to commercial and sometimes even residential keywords. So if you want to target the keywords with higher search volume and at the same time higher job value, you can focus on car locksmith services in the areas such as car key programming, or if you can do that for specific car types, you can target specific car types by following the brand guidelines, of course. And also there might be emergency services, which can be found both in residential and car locksmith services. And sometimes it can happen with commercial. And sometimes even with less search volume, certain residential jobs might bring you higher value. So that could be smart lock installation, or for commercial jobs, commercial access control. But again, if you want higher volume with higher job value, you can focus on car locksmith services and focus on specific areas. And I think if you have enough search volume in your target location, car locksmith services can bring you more traffic. And if you can turn that relevant traffic into phone calls and create customized high quality campaigns, you can generate profitable phone calls by running those types of campaigns. And the next thing on our list, if you want to increase call volume across all industries, that might be applicable for the locksmith businesses, which can offer all of these. You can generate more phone calls with generic keyword for those types of businesses. For example, if you offer all of those three services, you can focus on just generic locksmith keywords such as locksmith or locksmith in your location name. For example, let's say you are in New York, locksmith in New York, or 24/7 locksmith services, emergency locksmith services. And if you have been running ads for a while, you can get more ideas from search terms report. And the better way would be finding the keywords which have already generated conversions, and you can add them as your target keywords. Or if there are certain keywords which still haven't generated conversions, but they might be profitable because you may not have added them as your target keywords, and you can see them if they are higher intent. So you can create those types of campaigns that include more generic terms. And the second way would be find the areas where you can get high search volume, but at the same time the job value should not be lower, as I told earlier. So that would be like car locksmith services with a very high search volume. So again, you might use Google Ads Keyword Planner and find the keywords with a very high search volume, but is related to car locksmith services. So here is an example where in the keyword planner section, we're going to go to tools, planning, and the planning, we're going to go to keyword planner. And from here, we're going to just choose the car locksmith keyword as an example so that we're going to have more keyword ideas. But the car locksmith keyword itself can have really high search volume, as you can see from here. But of course, you need to be targeting more specific location. And as an example, we're going to choose the target location of New York City. And as you can see, the keyword car locksmith and car locksmith near me has really high search volume, and you can find similar keywords which can have high search volume and add them as your target keywords, which is relevant to car locksmith services. And if there are certain service areas which might be lower value, you may not add them or add them as your negative keywords, so that you won't receive phone calls or form submissions with those requests. And with that way, you can increase the search volume by adding the keywords in different service types. But I would not suggest you to add all of these keywords in different service types in one campaign, because certain keywords might get most of the search volume and may not give chance to other types of keywords. So for example, if you want to add this keyword and get traffic from this keyword, but you're also targeting car locksmith services, which we have targeted here, car locksmith services might get most of the traffic and might not give chance to the keyword car key programming near me, for example. And that can happen with other keywords as well. And if you can see these kind of problems, to get more traffic with car key programming keywords, you can create separate campaigns for those types of keywords so that you will give more chance to the keywords which can bring higher value. For example, if somebody is looking for car locksmith keyword itself, they might have different intent. They might be a person who is looking for car key programming, but at the same time, let's say there might be another person who is looking for car lockout services or car key duplication. And if your focus is to get traffic from car key programming, by putting it the same with car locksmith, you might send most of the traffic to this keyword rather than to car key programming keyword. So in that case, you can separate the campaigns, and one keyword or small number of keywords might not get most of the traffic. And the next thing on our list, how to increase search volume in a specific service area. So let's say you have decided which service area you want to focus on. If you want to focus on car locksmith services, you can add the keywords which are relevant. And I would not suggest you to add a generic keyword such as locksmith, locksmith near me. And if you're okay to lose some of your ad budget because of that mixed traffic, you can include locksmith, locksmith near me types of keywords. And within those keywords, there might be people who are looking for residential and commercial services. But if you don't want to get traffic from residential and commercial and only focus on car locksmith services, to increase your chance of getting more car locksmith services, you can focus only on the car locksmith types of keywords. And also, you can block other generic types of keywords or other specific keywords which are residential and commercial. That might make it more targeted, but still it is not guaranteed you're going to receive only car locksmith services, but you can improve your chance with that way. And again, you can apply the same principle with residential and commercial. If you want to focus on commercial, you can focus on commercial types of keywords and try to block other types of keywords which are outside of your target service area. But still, you need to be optimizing depending on your performance, because sometimes that might limit the performance because you are trying to make it really targeted, and that might affect the search volume as well. That's why you need to optimize it depending on your campaign performance. And in your location, you might have different search volume, and depending on that, you need to optimize your campaigns. And the next thing on our list, you can allocate your budget based on your service type. So for example, if you want to get more phone calls from certain service areas, you can allocate your budget accordingly. So let's say if you have $100 per day budget and you want to get more car lockout services, let's say you can allocate $70 per day for car lockout service types and $30 for other car locksmith services. And with this account, for example, we're allocating the budget depending on the location, because certain locations might get most of the budget if we will target one campaign and target multiple locations. So that's why I'm creating multiple campaigns and targeting their locations with each campaign. And sometimes I might create different campaigns and target different types of keywords in different campaigns, and the budgeting might be different as well. As I told, if you want to focus more on certain service types, you can increase their budget and reduce the budget of other campaigns which are outside of your target service area. So guys, these were about residential locksmith services, commercial locksmith services, and car locksmith services, and their differences and what you can expect from Google Ads. And hopefully that was useful and you can apply some of those strategies to your campaigns. And again, if you guys want to copy the type of campaign structure that I use for my clients, you can get that by clicking the link in the description below. Or if you guys want my help to generate phone calls for your locksmith business, you can apply to work with me and we can see whether we can work together. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video and see you guys in my other videos.